Aquarius, welcome to your monthly horoscope for July 2021. But before we begin, I would like to let you know that I do daily video horoscopes that I post on my YouTube channel every single day. I do weekly video horoscopes that I post every single week, and I also do monthly sun rising sign horoscopes that I post on my channel as well. You can watch all those videos, and I also request you to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, so that you can be notified every time I post a video. Now, Aquarius, as we enter the month of July, we are in a lot of retrograde energy. Now, what this means is that Pluto is retrograde, Saturn is retrograde, Jupiter is retrograde, and Neptune is retrograde. And retrogrades are periods where we reap the rewards for the work that we've already done while these planets were direct. So in July, we will be receiving a lot of rewards. That's the first thing. The second thing is that retrogrades are also a time of review and reprocessing things. So a lot of things you might be reprocessing, reviewing, and things may be coming back from the past, things that you've already worked on. So it's that sort of energy. That being said, all the personal planets are direct, so there is still some forward movement happening. Now, that's the energy as we enter the month of July. July also begins with a lot of intensity with the Mars-Saturn opposition. Now that I cover in my dailies and weeklies, so you can watch those. But I'm going to jump into the most important events rather, of July, so that we can get through this reading and then I can pick a card for you. Now, the first thing happens on July 9th, and that's the new moon in Cancer. It's happening right here in your 6th house, Aquarius, and it happens at about 18 degrees of Cancer, okay? Now, what is a new moon? A new moon is a new beginning. And we go through a new beginning every month with a new moon because a new moon happens every month. However, this new moon is happening in the sign of Cancer, which is connected to your health, your day-to-day routine, your job, your diet, your exercise. So there is a powerful new beginning in that area for you, Aquarius. Now, this new moon is very different from the new moons in Cancer we've had in the past 2 to 3 years. So every year we have a new moon in Cancer, right? Around June and July, around July. And this year is different from the past 2 to 3 years, and there is a reason for that. And Aquarius, the reason is that for the past 3 years, from 2017 to 2020 December, right? Saturn, right here, was in the sign of Capricorn, which meant that every time we had a new moon in Cancer, just like the new moon we're having right now, it opposed Saturn. All right. Now, why is that important? That is important because Saturn is the planet of decisions. It is a planet of discipline, of hard work. It can delay things. Okay. So every time you try to make a new beginning around July in your health, in your day-to-day routine, in your diet, in your exercise, all these things in your job, it felt challenging. It felt like, why is it not happening? I'm trying to make this new beginning, but why is it feeling so difficult? Why is it feeling so challenging? That's because Saturn was there, right here, opposing the new moon in Cancer energy. But this year, Saturn is not there anymore. So this year, the new beginning that you make in your health, that you make in your job, in your day-to-day routine, your diet, your exercise, your health matters, all those areas, it will feel lighter. It will feel easier than it has in the past 2 to 3 years. Also, till May of 2020, we had the nodes, the North Node and the South Node in the Cancer Capricorn axis. And the nodes, when there's a new moon next to the nodes, it's an eclipse. So every time there was a new moon in Cancer, it was an eclipse, and eclipses can feel challenging because eclipses bring about karmic events. And the Cancer Capricorn eclipses that have been happening for the past 2 years, they stopped happening in December of 2020 when the nodes changed and the eclipses started happening in different signs. But all of 2019, the eclipses happened in Cancer and Capricorn, and that felt challenging because Saturn was there. So now we don't have an eclipse in Cancer. This new moon is not an eclipse. It is a moon that is not opposing Saturn, so it will feel much easier, much lighter, not like it's weighing you down. Not like I'm trying so hard, why can't I do this? So that's happening on July 9th. And moving on to July 11th, Aquarius, we have Mercury changing signs. And from your 5th house, it is going to enter your 6th house. And Mercury is what? It's our mental energy, it's our communication, it's our thoughts. And when it changes houses, as it will on July 11th for you, our mental energy will be focused in a different area of your life. And for the past 2 weeks, 20 days, while Mercury retrograded in Gemini. So let's not talk about that because that will take a lot of time. Mercury now is in your 6th house, which means all your mental energy, your thoughts, your communication, your mental focus will be channeled towards your health, your job, your day-to-day routine, your diet, your exercise, your habits. That's going to be the focus, Aquarius, for the next 2 weeks. And then on July 15th, Chiron, right here, is going to go retrograde. Now, Chiron is our deepest wound, but it's also how we heal. And Chiron, the healing it brings is bittersweet. It heals us by wounding us more. It's like, okay, you reach a point where you say, it doesn't bother me like it used to. I've healed myself. That's Chiron. That's the kind of healing it brings. Nothing happens, nothing changes, and that wound keeps happening, but you kind of say, okay, it doesn't bother me anymore. You don't become cold and numb, you just heal. That's Chiron. So when Chiron is direct, which it has been till July 15th, the active healing process takes place, which means the active wounding process takes place, which does not feel easy. But when it goes retrograde, the active healing is done, which means the active wounding that comes with Chiron's healing is done. The bittersweetness is done, and now is the time to fully imbibe that healing, fully embrace that healing. And that happens on July 15th. And for you, Aquarius, it's in your 3rd house, which means it is connected, this healing is connected to your mind, to your thinking, to your communication, to your immediate environment, to your siblings. And like I said, retrogrades bring with them the past, so it could very well be something from the past that's healing you in a different way altogether. And then on July 21st, Venus changes signs. Venus right here is going to enter your 8th house, Aquarius. Now Venus brings with it blessings, it brings with it gifts, it makes you more receptive to things. And in your 8th house is the house of transformation, of death, of rebirth, of investments, of intimacy, of intimate relationships. So Venus is blessing. It's also the house of healing. So it could be making you more receptive to matters of ending things, changing things, beginning things, transforming things, healing yourself, regenerating some part of yourself, or intimate relationships and investments. It's also the house of personal karmic matters. So some healing, some blessings, some feeling of being more receptive to those matters might kick in on July 21st as Venus enters your 8th house. And then soon after that, the Sun is going to enter your 7th house, which means the area of your life that will be brought to light, will be illuminated, will be connected to your relationships, your marriage, your business partnerships, and perhaps legal issues, if that applies to you. And the Sun is going to illuminate these areas of your life, bring them to focus for the next 30 days, beginning on July 22nd. Moving on, Aquarius, on July 23rd, we have a full moon in your sign. It's happening at 1 degree of Aquarius right here on the chart. You can see it. The Sun and the moon oppose each other. The Sun is our consciousness, it's our identity, it's our soul. And the moon is our emotional body, it's our inner heart, and they're opposing. So a full moon typically feels like a challenging energy, but it brings with it emotional release, it brings with it completions, it brings with it culminations, understandings, being able to see things with a clear perspective. That's what a full moon does. And Aquarius, it is happening in your 1st and 7th house. So this full moon is bringing to light something connected with your identity and your relationship with others, your marriage perhaps, your business partnerships, along with who you are. That's what this full moon is illuminating. There are 3 other things this full moon will bring to light, and these are especially important to you because it's happening in your sign Aquarius. Now the first is the new beginning that happens on July 9th with the new moon in Cancer, which was in your 6th house. A new beginning in your health, in your diet, in your exercise, in your routine, in your day-to-day habits that will feel much easier than it has in the past 2 to 3 years. The second thing is the new moon that happened on Feb 11th, the new moon in Aquarius, which happened for you in your 1st house. That was a new identity for you because it happened in your 1st house, a beginning to your new identity, a beginning to becoming who you are, setting the foundation for that. And now you can maybe see that a little bit more clearly. And the third goes to December 2020. Saturn and Jupiter conjuncted in your 1st house, which meant a new beginning in you, your identity, who you are, your appearance, how you present yourself to the world, how the world sees you. It was a new beginning. And in the next 2 years, you'll set the base for that identity, for that beginning. But this moon will bring about some sort of understanding about what that beginning for you is, what that identity for you is. And Aquarius, I do want to mention, this does not tie into the month of July. This is a overview, longer term event taking place. But I think it's important to let you know that Saturn is in your sign right now, Aquarius. Okay, and it is going to stay in your sign until 2023 March. It came into your sign December 17th of 2020 for good. And when Saturn transits a particular sign, especially if you have an Aquarian sun and many planets in the sign of Aquarius, it can feel challenging, it can be difficult. So that is happening. And if you are an Aquarius rising sign, Saturn is in your 1st house. When Saturn is in your 1st house, you are going through an identity revamp, you can say. You are figuring out yourself, who you are. And this might very well be connected to your relationships also, because who you are is very intimately tied with who you are in a relationship with, who your peer group is, but mainly who you are. So right now you're working on your identity, you're working on your appearance, you're working on your leadership skills, Aquarius. And you'll do that till 2023. And if you have a lot of personal planets in Aquarius, this energy can feel challenging. But just be mindful that it is Saturn, it's not you. And the purpose of Saturn is to work hard, is to get things in order, but it does that with a rough hand, you can say. So it does not feel very easy. Okay, so that's that. Saturn is in your sign Aquarius. So that's the underlying energy you are going through. And Saturn is in your sign. It's not the easiest 2 to 3 years, but it is a life-changing 2 to 3 years. Okay, moving on. I will talk about the long-term events towards the end of the video, not what they are, but I'm going to ask you something related to that. So let's just hold on, finish the reading, and then get to that. Now, on July 27th, Mercury enters Leo. Sorry, give me a moment. Mercury has entered Leo. Now, from your health, from your day-to-day routine, from your diet, exercise, job, all these matters, your mind is going to switch focus to focusing on relationships, marriage, business partnerships, and legal issues. That's the mental energy where it's going to be focused, your communication where it's going to be focused. And then on July 28th, Jupiter retrogrades back into the sign of Aquarius, which means it comes back into your first sign. Now, this is great news for you, Aquarius, because this is the point where you will get gifts connected to your identity, rewards connected to your identity for the work that you put in while Jupiter was direct in your sign. So that's happening starting July 28th. And on July 29th, Mars is going to enter your 8th house. Now, Mars is going to enter your 8th house after about 2 years, and it is going to re-energize, reinvigorate areas connected to intimate relationships, intimacy, personal karmic matters. It's also the house of healing. So it might heal you in some ways. It might transform you. And Mars is at home in the 8th house. So this is what is happening on July 29th for you, Aquarius. So that's the energy. And as far as long-term cycles go, if you would like to know, Aquarius, where, say, like I told you, where Saturn is and what the underlying theme for you for the next 3 years is going to be, now 2 years. Similarly, if you want to know where Pluto is or where Uranus is, these are slow-moving energies. So although astrology changes moment to moment, day to day, week to week, month to month, there's certain underlying energies we can deal with for years on end. Now, these are the slow-moving energies, the long-term energies. Now, if you would like me to cover those in a separate video, do let me know and I will make that happen. But before we go, Aquarius, I also want to mention one more long-term thing for you because I think it's important. It's that Pluto is in your 12th house, nearing your ascendant. And this can be a build-up. It's not going to enter Aquarius till I think 2023 or 2024. So you have time for that. But when it does cross your ascendant, that's a permanent change to your identity. That's a permanent change to your career. That's a permanent change to your relationships and your emotions. It's not necessary, it can be very subtle, this change. But it is a powerful one, and you're building up to that. So anyway, that's not in July, that's not for a few years, so it doesn't really matter at the moment. And now I will pick a card for you and let me know about the long-term transits. Okay, we'll go with these two. It says mending and it says poised. Aquarius, I do believe you are healing something. Venus is in your 8th house. Mars will enter your 8th house, which is about healing, which is about regeneration, which is about transformation, ending old things, beginning new things. And I think there's healing in that. There's some healing in that. And poised. I think, Aquarius, you are poised for a good month, I would say. But I do feel this energy comes a little bit later for you. You are really building right now. But if Saturn is there, Saturn also makes things happen, right? So you may be poised to make things happen. So I do believe this is a good month for you. There's healing in this month. And there's a lot of focus on your health, diet, day-to-day routine, exercise, job, and transformation, healing, catharsis. And Saturn is in your sign. So you are in the background working on your identity. Now, if you are an Aquarian sun watching this, the house where Aquarius is for you is going to be impacted by Saturn. So that area of your life will be worked upon with Saturn connected to your identity as well. Say Aquarius is your 10th house, then Saturn is going to be putting in order your house of business. But your identity will also be transformed, changed, asked to be worked upon in connection with your business. So that's how it works. And also there are many elements to each chart. This is just the top surface. There are many underlying layers to it, many aspects to your personal chart that need to be considered. So this is just a basic, all right? And I do believe these are helpful. That's why I do them. But the details, the exact what's going on is more dependent on your personal chart. That being said, if you enjoyed this reading, do hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and let me know about that long-term video. Have a great month, Aquarius. I'll see you in one of my other videos. Bye.